and welcome back to the Cube Counselor. It has been another month. We missed another few weeks, and that's part of what we're going to talk about here. We've been a little busy with some other projects and things going on, but did want to get a video out there. And to be honest, was struggling with how to do that. Haven't really had time to sit down and really record an online league. Haven't really had time to play Magic much at all, except I was able to play the wonderful game of Magic Cube in person with our guest from last week, Mr. Hajigulashi himself, Jim, as he stated his name last week. And yeah, so we've got some Pack 1 Pick 1s for you. Again, we were able to play safely. He and I, felt comfortable enough with how things are going in the community and how we were feeling to mask up and play some games. Since then, I think both he and I have been vaccinated, so that's even better for our next round. But we did play a few games at his condo, and again, just to remind people, we do it a little bit differently. We have Glimpse Draft, where we're going to open 20 cards in 9 packs, and then we're going to, in between picks, we're going to burn 3 cards. We're going to put 3 cards in the discard pile without the opponent knowing. It's a really fun way to get synergized, high synergy decks, but still emulate a draft experience. As I stated, you can tune in to last week's episode, where we talk about, Jim and I have been playing together for a long time. So for me, it's a really fun way to play with him and kind of have, mind games and joke around. But I think with anybody, this would be a really fun format. So we have our first pick here. As I was talking here, you were probably, hopefully, zooming through the cards here. Maybe I can even zoom in even more in case it's difficult to see. I think we went in too far. So hopefully you can see cards up here. If you can't see, Tolarian Academy, very powerful, jumps out right away. That's a good one to get right away because that is, as they call it, a parasitic strategy. So that's one that, jumps out right away for me. This was our first draft in person in 6 or 7 months. I think we got together, October last year. So it's been a while. So we've really been looking forward to this, talking about, when things were safe and when we were both feeling okay, getting back together. So there's a lot going on with this pack beyond the pack. We were joking as well. For our first draft, we couldn't remember if, usually we try to be spiky the first draft and draft really high synergy deck and kind of show off a little bit to each other, or if we go right in just kind of forcing strategies that we haven't drafted in a while. I think he was right. I think he said usually we do the force a strategy that we've really wanted to, and then the second draft is even more kind of trying to be a little spiky, and then it kind of goes down from there depending on how much alcohol we consume, if that's your thing. But part of what sticks out in this pack as well is we've got these awesome new old bordered cards from the Time Spiral Remastered set. And, those just, stick out so much for me. I mean, there's a lot of different borders in here, but, when you're used to seeing a different border style, that really sticks out for me. But, yeah, but again, I think I've rambled a little bit here about our first pack. What jumped out to you? Well, we went a little boring. We hadn't played in a while. This was kind of an okay pack. Again, the most powerful card is probably Tolarian Academy. But we went ahead and we took the boring pick, Goblin Rabble Master. Figured mono red or something like that. Not the most exciting first pick, I'll be honest. But this is our first 5 picks. So we've got Goblin Bombardment got passed to us second. You see some of our piles here in the background. And I was excited. Got Grafted War Gear back in that first pack, and Pia. Then at the first pick of the second pack, maybe, or on the wheel, maybe. We got, CJ and Commander. So we kind of had a weird Goblin tokeny thing, and I just got really stuck on Goblin Bombardment. I wanted to make tokens in weird ways. You see Pia and Kieran Alar, of course, that make Thopters. And Goblin Bombardment is a card I don't recall ever playing in any format, and just got really excited about that. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on today. Draft what you want, play what you want. Again, I felt a little lame picking this first, but it felt like a card I really enjoyed and the most powerful card that could fit in a lot of different, red or red blue or whatever. It's just a really good card. So, but what came together next was really fun, and I got really excited. Tried to hone in on this weird mono red ish aristocrats almost style with Goblin Bombardment. Wanted to attack or fling a bunch of creatures. And again, you can do this at instant speed. Sacrifice any creature, and Goblin Bombardment does 1 damage to any target. So this is where we ended up. You can see our land over here. We got some pretty good land. We ended up with Mardu stuff. Much different than, those first 5 picks, but still really fun. Don't know if Jim kind of caught on or if the red just dried up in those packs, but I didn't show what I had in the sideboard. But I still felt like we had a lot of weird synergies with tokens. And, we've got Smuggler's Copter. Skull Clamp is super powerful. I really forced black here. I think you can see we can make our tokens bigger with Luminarch Aspirant. I forced the black splash because I just love Ophiomancer, the card, and it did kind of fit. I think we ended up siding out Torbrand. Jim said he was against that, but I just felt like even though with our mana being pretty good, we didn't have a ton of red permanents even with the tokens, so we ended up siding it out. I think after we usually play 5 games. So I think I did take this down in 4. He ended up with somewhat of a similar, if I remember, some sort of a, I think he was black-white, so I think he was taking all the black spells. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun. It was really good to be drafting in paper again. It's just a different experience than drafting online, so I was really glad to do that. We drafted many times. We were, whipping through drafts, but this was the first one, and I had a great time with that. And I wonder what you would have picked. If you want to comment, let me know what you would have picked. And then I thought I had some other picks here. Let me see. Sorry for the delay. But yeah, I had a great time drafting with Jim. I had a great time winning with this weird deck. And I thought I had another draft in here. Where is that other one? Yeah, that's the same one. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we had, we did another draft. And again, sorry for the glare and the not so great picture, but hopefully you can see most of these picks here. Containment Priest down here, Hero Bladehold. We got Siege Gang Commander coming back for revenge here. I should have mentioned in that last draft, saw the power of Anointed Procession. That was a really fun one. And actually, I had it backwards. That was our second draft. I already got it backwards. That's okay. I'm going to forgive myself. I messed up. This was our first game of the day, and this was definitely leaning towards let's have some fun. Let's draft some new cards we haven't played before. So the cards that stick out here are Tristani Summoner I hadn't played. Makes a bunch of different types of tokens. That's really fun. I think that's the only card in here I don't think I've ever really played. I did look at Heliod. There is a Heliod synergy, infinite combos in here in a couple different ways. That was one I really looked at a lot. Like if I'm going to take it early, then I can find the pieces I need. Or Heliod's okay, card on its on its own without that much synergy. But the one that really stuck out if you've been following the channel is Apex Devastator. Fun new card. Haven't played it at all. He's got the sweet borderless version as well. So I'm a mark for green cards and cool, borders and together. Definitely made it stick out for me. So I really wanted the Chimera Hydra. Wanted to just go with ramp. There's not really a ton of other good green cards in here. So, Glimpse Draft is a little bit weird. You can't really cut someone off, so to speak. as much as you would like. Although, I could take this and then, burn the other green cards. But that was where we started. And, again, usually in our first draft, again, I got it backwards on my own here. Usually we start off with kind of, the fun and silly stuff that we've been thinking about for a while. And I felt like we got there. Very good, number of one drops. We ended up with Ancient Tomb. We ended up with a nice splash for opposition. Coma was another card I hadn't tried yet, so that was another great top end. Sandward Convergence I have never tried. I think I played it in draft. It's like unbeatable. Karn very early. We've got a lot of we got a couple of like token makers and some of the mana dorks that you want with opposition. Maybe wanted a little bit more there, but went ahead and just figured that's such a powerful card. We'll go ahead and jam it in here. We got Rafellos pretty late. So I felt very good about this deck. I think I went 3-1, maybe 3-0. I don't think we had any 3-0s. But again, we do play best of 5, and we sideboard after the second game just to, when you're spending so much time drafting, you want to get some time in with the game. So I like that we do best of 5. And yeah, we took it down with this. I'd like to end the conversation there, but I want to give Jim his due. We did not take down. After these two matches, we punted hard, and we did not get where we wanted to be in the next few drafts. So props to Jim for taking down the evening. The stakes were never lower, so I don't remember where I got Gaia's Cradle, but obviously I should have pointed that out. That really helped here as well. Just an insanely powerful card, which I will say he's actually thinking about taking out because it's so powerful. But yeah, that was my 2 drafts, and that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Again, I haven't had time to really draft, but did want to put some content out there. And in the midst of thinking about all that, and by the way, Apex Devastator, so fun, such a fun top end card. I think when you have such powerful options, and green especially has millions of them at this point in 27 years or whatever it is, rarely one comes along that's unique and different, and boy, was that fun. I think we only cast it once, maybe twice, and it's just a really fun thing to do. We didn't even win on the spot, which also made it fun. It gave Jim a chance to say, okay, can I fight through this? I cascaded into like Nightback Ambush or Worm Power, so a bunch of crazy stuff, and that was just super fun. Because again, you didn't necessarily win on the spot, but it puts you in a super commanding position to definitely win the game on the next attack. Maybe you have some things with haste or other reasons you win, but normally the opponent's going to get another shot at it. So that was a very fun, and I was glad that I picked that first and went with that. So sorry I got the drafts backwards, but you get the point. So again, we went a little bit spikier with Goblin Rabble Master in the second, but this one we were there to have fun. We were there to take cards we hadn't taken before, and we're a sucker for green. So, but in the midst of this, I did come across somebody that I follow on Twitter. Posted an article, Miss Emma Partlow. I should have linked her Twitter on here. Oh, it's right here. I think I started following her. She posts. She's a writer for TCGplayer.com, and she posts a lot of budget decks. That's kind of her expertise, and just started following her. Somebody else retweeted or something. She also, I should point out, as you've seen a past interview with Charlie, our Simpsons friend, big Simpsons fan, so that obviously stood out. And amidst my struggles here with figuring out how to make content and how to get a video done and recorded, I read her great article that she reposted from last year. As we were entering pandemic time, I'm sure, it was a good time to be writing about mental health. And, she kind of just lays out her experience fighting through mental health issues as a content creator. I'm certainly not a paid content creator like her, but I do want to participate in that realm. Obviously, as I'm recording this show, you can tell. I was at a very fast clip, a more regular intervals when I first started recording. I was excited. It was the pandemic, so obviously, not all in life was going well, but I wanted to put out this show where, I contributed to the content in the Magic the Gathering community, and also, did it with a vision that I wanted, focusing on mental health. Being a positive figure in the community was important for me. However many viewers or backers or whatever subscribers we get, I wanted to do that regularly. And I think with my professional background, I wanted to be consistent because I do think that's important in mental health, whether it's, one person or 20, you want to be consistent. So I've been struggling with it. I've been putting out less videos, missing more dates recently than I had in the year I've been doing this. And it was just a nice time to come across this article. She talks about, writer's block, how she works through it, how other peers in the community have helped her work through it, or she doesn't cite any sources, but I'm sure, she's gotten feedback from others. She mentions in here, feeling validated when others share in the experience. So I wanted to share my experience with that. Imposter syndrome, she also talks about. That's a big one, even, for myself who works in the mental health field. We are not immune to these types of issues. So I definitely go through phases where I feel like, maybe my experience isn't valid, or I'm not contributing what I want to be. And that's something I have to work through as well. So, but I wanted to focus, hopefully I highlighted it down here. This paragraph really caught me, and I won't read it out loud. I encourage you to go, you can go to tcgplayer.com, search her name. The link is in the show notes as well. So please go ahead and check out this article. It's not a long read, but I felt like it's very impactful, and I think that's what you want, from someone that, is creating maybe content for a game or something you enjoy, but then steps out of that boundary and really shares something like this. I don't think she went too huge into theory or research or things like that. She just said, from my experience, this is what's worked. I hope it works for you. Please reach out. I'm happy to, talk about it, and I think that's really great. But what she talks about here, FOMO, fear of missing out, that's, commonly referred to from the products that come out for MTG. But I think it really does apply here. Honestly, recently, seeing other people draft online, that's been a big thing, especially in the last couple of months. I actually will link in the show notes. I was able to participate, and part of why I felt like I didn't have time to do a video is I did participate several weeks ago, and John Terrell, Cultic Cube, he did an awesome draft video, and I can link those in the show notes as well. And I was able to participate in those drafts, and I was having fun. And then when I see, my peers and people I respect and enjoy playing Magic with, drafting online and recording videos and going on each other's shows, I do feel like what she's describing here. She says, when you witness your peers having opportunities or collaborations, you may get the feeling you are either inadequate or missing out. And I was really feeling that. And I recently had somebody reach out to me and ask me to come on, and I felt awkward about saying, I've been working on comic book stuff. I don't really have time. And, this helped me kind of just say, okay, you can't do it all the time. There will be opportunities, hopefully nobody's going to say, you know what, John hasn't drafted with us in a month. We don't want him to come back. I haven't gotten that impression from anyone in the community. I think they're happy for whoever's able to throw down some cards, even if it's digitally. Everybody's been extremely welcoming. I've shared that on here before. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to share today. Not a real long video. I encourage people to read, and I thank Emma for creating the article, and I wanted to share that with you all as well, and hopefully you get some help from it as well. Now we're a year later, and again, it's still relevant. These kind of evergreen articles are nice to find, and I hope that people can continue to share this around. Maybe even Emma can go back and update it. Now, unfortunately, a year later, we're still fighting through the pandemic, and these mental health issues, are going to continue to need to be addressed. So I appreciated that, and I did want to share that. Again, link in the show notes. So thank you, Emma. I did also want to share, shamelessly, a part of the reason I haven't had as much time. I have been working on a Magic the Gathering related content, so maybe that's part of it too. I'm fortunate enough to have diverse hobbies, diverse creative outlets, and I am the editor for the next book from Part Time Comics, On the Stack. It's a tribute to Magic the Gathering through art. So you see some of our contributors, and this is not even everybody yet. But again, I'll link lots of links in the show notes. Yeah, we have a Kickstarter coming up for this. I've been putting this book together with longtime friend and collaborator Harry Moyer, a new time friend Tim Gadke did our cover, and he was big in getting this book off the ground. So we want to acknowledge that as well. But again, part of it was acknowledging to myself, well, you are still participating in a positive way to the Magic the Gathering community, and we've got a diverse group of creators. Proxy and Altarist, Megan Burden. We've got cosplay, costume creator, and performer. Zabrakis Cosplay is with us. We have an awesome contribution from Austin Shu, Jericho on Twitter. He makes amazing paper art. We actually commissioned him to do his first Magic the Gathering theme, but he is an avid Magic the Gathering fan as well. So part of it was getting people who play and participate in Magic the Gathering, but again, also express their joy for Magic the Gathering through different art forms. And so we will have comics, including a story I wrote and Harry Moyer drew, and we'll be announcing some other ones soon as well. So sorry for the shameless plug, but I did feel like it fit in with the theme of the show, and that sometimes your content creation is going to be not as much as you'd like. And again, it's a benefit, I think, sometimes to not have, I don't have contractual obligations. So I'm able to, switch my interests around, commit where I can, and see what works. But I appreciate everybody's time. If you can, follow the Kickstarter. It looks like we'll probably be on a monthly schedule for now. I'm hoping to, again, collaborate with some other contributors, so I will be in and around the internet in the community. So again, appreciate everyone tuning in. And, along with Emma's article here, our saying is we get better together. And I think that this is a great illustration of that. If we don't take that step and be brave about our feelings sometimes, we may miss an opportunity to help our peers. It's certainly not anyone's responsibility, but when those brave creators do step out and do that, I certainly want to highlight that, and I do appreciate it. And I thank you for tuning in, and talk to you soon.